Hey guys, this is the general reading for Pisces it'll be the end of June, July 2019. It'll be for Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. If you have significant Pisces in your chart, if you're just drawn to this video, if you're cross-watching, like if you're another sign you're cross-watching on a Pisces, or you're just drawn to this, like I said. Also, if this does not resonate with you or you want a more complete picture, please watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus of any videos that I already have or that I will be making, or any significant placements in your chart, or any just videos that you're drawn to. Energy is fluid, so this could have already happened. It could be happening now, or it could happen in the future. I could read this as you. It could be somebody else around you. I could read this as love. It could be career, a creation, a passion, whatever. Some, none, or all of this may apply. So just take what fits and leave the rest. Like, don't make it fit if it doesn't. Thank you so much for those of you who have inquired about donations and really donated with that to either like have the give take energy if the video really helped you, like basically just support me and my channel. So thank you very much for that. Like, it really means so much to me. And if anyone else who's interested or anybody in the future, the information is in the description box below. My PayPal information, my email address, all of that. Also for services, and I have different types of services, or if you're interested in a reading to see if this reading applies to you or what to do with it, or advice or guidance, or just all of that. All the information, again, is in the description box below. Please read all of it, including the disclaimer and everything. Don't just get to my email and then email me. I'm more than willing to help anybody, but it saves me time. So the answer might be there for you. But feel free to email me. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. And thank you so much for those of you who do that and have done that. And please do that, because through anything with my channel like that, or services, or the donations, most of that money goes towards me furthering my healing journey and furthering to heal myself, which I then use those tools and, my own experience with it. And I then learn how to heal others, and I push forth and go forth healing others, because a lot of people really need help right now. And this is like my path, my mission that I'm guided on. So it's kind of funding me while I'm doing that, and just trusting in the universe and, the love and the abundance and everything to help me as I help others. So thank you so much for that. That's, really the point of it. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know, but I think that's it for now. So Pisces, when I first started tapping into your energy as I was laying the cards, I really got this feeling there's not a whole lot of emotion. I almost feel like maybe some of that has passed. But I got this sense of distrust. There was really a distrusting and not really kind of having confidence. It could be in yourself, or it could just be in a process, or in someone else, or in something. But either way, the biggest thing I felt was a distrust. So we'll get started on your reading, which was kind of confirmed when I pulled your past card. But in the center of your reading, you have the Six of Swords. Healing begins. So it's really wanting to urge you, not only heart-wise, but just mentally to move forward. So I don't really know if... I feel like something did happen, though, especially based on your past and on the bottom of the deck. The energy on the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Pentacles. Well-deserved reward. I don't know why I was thinking Nine of Wands when I said that. The Ace of Swords, clarity or belief, refusing to see. Two of Swords, Four of Swords, you with your higher self. It's like, if I had to guess the feeling and the vibe I'm getting off this energy, it's like things or people or events or whatever, or even just yourself, have kind of taxed you or whatever to the point where you are needing healing. But you're just kind of a little pulled off, standoffish, and honestly not even really that emotional, to be honest with you. You're mostly in a mental kind of fire energy, but it's almost like your real oomph that makes you you is not behind it. I don't know. I don't think it's just other people and other things and situations that you don't trust. I think it's also yourself, and maybe even mostly yourself. But not only is there something you're not seeing, like where you have to look between the curtains or beyond the curtains, the veil almost, but also like a you coming out. Like she's coming out on stage or on a show. And you know it. Like, you know there's things that, like, you feel you should be doing or you want to be doing. And honestly, this could be a problem too, of you having a problem like shining. You should watch also, because one that was very similar to this was my Taurus reading I just did. So even if you don't have a Taurus, if it is a Taurus, like it could just be your energy you're dealing with, but even if you don't have Taurus anywhere in you, it's a very good video to watch just for the perspective and mind frame that you probably should or would want to be looking for. So just FYI on that, the Taurus for July 2019. You're just not, it's an overall distrust for yourself, for others, for the process. And what's influencing this is the Empress. This is nurture, but I mean, she's fully abundant, booming. Like, she has confidence. She has faith. Like, she does not scare away from shining bright. Now there's the Nine of Wands. And I also see too, when I look at this, it's like you have something you're supposed to be doing. Like, say she's going on a show right now and it's like she's peeking through the curtains to see what's out there and what she's going to have to do. And she's just timid about doing it. Like, she just doesn't really have a lot of faith in herself. And that's one of the reasons a lot of times too, you have a distrust for things around you, is usually like when you don't trust yourself to either do the right thing or to discern what's, you know, what you should do or anything like that. And to be honest with you, I know, you know, sometimes you need to pull away, but sometimes by putting yourself in those moments, that's how you learn confidence. I mean, even through my awakening, it was like I went through, you know, a lot of stuff, but it was that stuff that taught me. You know, there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. Wisdom comes and accrues over time. Yes, it's also for the people who actually know how to apply the stuff they learned. But either way, for the most part, wisdom is usually learned and accrued. It's that elder energy. It's that ancestor energy. So it is these experiences, like, don't be hard on yourself. Like, it's the experiences that teach you. So don't let your mind get you in a place where it starts to really loop in whatever. I think you actually had a reading like that before, where I think your last one where it was looping, like you were on a hamster wheel. And so maybe some of you have been successful at seeing something and getting away from it, but yet at the same time, you're carrying that pattern and that tendency just within yourself. Like you're no longer using that situation as an outlet for that energy that's within you, like a projection. So now for some of you that may have removed that or backed off from that a little bit, that energy may be now looping within you. I don't mean to be like crazy. It just was looping within you. I just saw the way it looked and I was like, but it may be looping within you. And that's fine on one hand, as long as you do proper stuff with it and give yourself, like, see it and give it a better outlet, or reflect on it, or work with that energy, like see it, observe it, what's going on, do this work or shadow work or whatever. But there is something here that's trying to help you mentally move on and heal. And I have to say, I mean, you have a crap ton of sword cards. Sword, like I said, in your mind, and the wand, which is funny with the colors of that, which I'll get to later, but you literally have the 3, and under here you have a bunch right here. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So like really you don't have the 5 and the 10, but you have almost all of the sword cards. It's like, I don't know if you're going, like, if right now you're either supposed to be going on a mental journey or if you just literally are. Let's pull a card on the Empress and just see. I mean, I pretty much think I know what it is, but you need to be more compassionate with yourself and be more nurturing with yourself. Like, don't judge yourself. Just know that ups and downs teach you. And if it doesn't work out the way you want, that's fine. I mean, focus on your abundant mind frame. There's always more, or if it's meant to be there, it will. Like, there's this huge distrust vibe. You may also want to look at and pay attention to, negative thinking. Here's something else I learned recently. There's no way somebody doesn't have this pattern, especially a looping pattern, and they don't have a negative thinking in some way. There's really no way. They don't usually they go hand in hand. And so when you pull away, it's like with people with addiction, they'll say, when you're sober and like you're doing good, your addiction is in the background doing push-ups in the parking lot, waiting for any moment for you to falter or weaken or whatever. And it's the same here. I mean, a lot of people anyways, almost everybody has addictive tendencies. Pisces, though, they're one of the signs that are very, have a high likelihood of that. Even if it's not drugs or alcohol, they have addictive type tendencies. Especially in their ways of thinking, I've found. So the reason I'm saying this is, if there's something you're wanting to do here, which I feel like there is, whether it's a job, maybe a relationship. I don't really get a whole lot of relationship vibes here, but apply this if this is what it is for you. I feel like there's a huge creative spark for a lot of people I'm seeming to find so far. There's some energies that are really pushing people into their passions and their creations or whatever. But when you take time away, this is what I found and what I'm trying to fix with myself. But when you take time away from that which you're wanting to do, wanting to create, wanting to whatever, and I'm not talking about your occasional like break or time off or giving yourself a minute to rest and relax and do some self-care. I'm talking about like you just literally just, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you don't do it tomorrow. You find a way to make an excuse, and then the next day comes and then you don't. It starts off very silently, but sorry. Eventually you notice that your negative self-talk becomes more and more and more. And all of a sudden in your head, you find, and you may not even notice it at first. Some of you may not notice it at all. I did. To where at first I didn't. You're just like, I'm just resting. It just feels good. And then you start to feel worse and worse. And then all of a sudden that feeling in your stomach and your like solar plexus. And it's just, you start to become then scared. And you have these unnecessary, unrealistic worries. That's like, that's not going to work, or why are they going to think about this, or that's stupid, or I don't want to do that, but you really do. Or what is so-and-so going to think? What am I, just all these things. And even so much to the point where it'll be like, oh, that's not going to work. Or what if I say the wrong thing? What if I do the wrong thing? What if I end up looking like a fool? What if I end up losing money on it? What if I can't really help somebody? Whatever. And it's really weird because my mind even went to a point where it would be thinking that, and I've already been proven that it's a reality and it would work. But your mind is so strong and so kind of like that in the background doing push-ups. That's why you constantly have to work on yourself, because at any time it's going to try to come and take over, because your brain's main thing, besides putting everything together and telling you what to do, is to protect you. It's to protect you and keep you going. So it should be your assistant in running you, but it can't be the main thing. So you've got to make sure you keep watching and meditating, and you're higher than your body. Your mind is part of your body. So you've got to watch your level of consciousness, and it has to be, it's not like, boom, it's done. A lot of people want that easy button, boom, it's done. There is no working for it, and then that's it, it's done. Like you've always got to be doing it, because it's always in the background doing push-ups. It's going to wait for that faltering and that negative. I mean, you can find certain ways to train it and everything, and it will make it easier as you give it new positive patterns to go off of, but it's still always there. And you could always just retrain it in a not so positive way. So what was I saying? But your mind is so strong that it can actually even negate what you've already seen and proved to be true. And a lot of times how this happens is by, taking more than like a day off. Or if you're really sick, obviously, yeah, that's fine. And your mind doesn't even think about things in that moment, because you're thinking about how bad you feel and you want to get better. So in those moments, for me, and I have a lot of Pisces in my chart. My Venus is in Pisces, and my sun and Mercury, I think. Yeah. They're both in Taurus, but they are in my 12th house. So my Sun and my Mercury are in my 12th house. That's my subconscious. It's more than that, but that's the main thing I'm trying to say here. Is it's my subconscious. So the 12th house is Pisces. So I have a lot of Piscean energy within me. So I understand and maybe can relate with you guys a lot. But I find when I'm sick, it doesn't do it. Like when you take days off for that, or when you legit need the time, it doesn't. When you are unnecessarily taking the time, though, and at that point you're just refusing, you're resisting, you're procrastinating, you're scared, that's when it builds up, because your mind becomes restless in those moments. It's not preoccupied with feeling like crap or being sick or truly enjoying the resting relaxation. You've rested enough. And now your body, that energy becomes restless inside of you, which then travels to your brain. And now it starts looping, right? So this is how it comes. It starts looping. And well, what are you going to do with it? I mean, even if you had positive thinking, if it was looping, you would go do something. So you must be in a negative loop. So one of the biggest things I'm trying to say in all that is, with like this, what's crossing you, Empress energy, is whatever it is that you're wanting to go do or experience or whatever, just go do it. Give yourself that opportunity. I mean, unless it's like going and trying heroin or something, don't go do that. But if it's something like a project, I mean, and if you need to talk to somebody about it, I mean, I would find somebody positive or somebody that's already in that field. I wouldn't tell too much, but as far as like your idea or whatever, or talk to somebody who like has an unbiased opinion about it, or just try it. Because you then run the risk of somebody, like, if they don't see your vision or whatever, and especially for Pisces, like, most people don't see a Pisces vision, you know? So, their stuff is out there. It's in the dream world. And, I mean, people who have heavy Neptunian will understand that energy, but, a lot of people won't, especially if they're practical, and you don't want that to, bring you down in any way, because yes, sometimes there's great things to being practical, but there's a reason why the Neptunian energy is here, why the dream world is here. I mean, manifestation galore if you can learn how to properly use that dream world. Just saying. Also in the Pandora's box, there's a reason the last thing was hope. And that's, to me, it can be very illusion-like, but in a positive, for lack of better words, archetype type of energy. I don't know a better way to say that right now. The Neptunian energy is hope. I know a lot of times it's wrapped in the tarot under Aquarian, which is right by Pisces. So, but a lot of times Pisces have that hope. It's a little unrealistic sometimes. And that's where their creative skills can really land it and be good, because some of those things, you can show people how to do something differently that they can't even conceive of. You don't always have to do things the way other people do. You could do it in a Piscean way and show people there's another way and it's just as good, if not better. Or you can create it in a different way. If you can't physically manifest it in this world, like to where you can like hold it or touch it or whatever, like as in, or experience it, like say in a relationship or something, there are many other ways to create that into reality, into 3D. There are many other ways. And you could still make it come about even if you can't. But I don't feel like that's this. If it is, then go and do it and find that way, whether it's taking what's in your head. I mean, okay, let me give you an example, I guess. Do you know how many people literally had those out there ideas and they made billion-dollar movies? Why? Because a lot of people like to go see movies that are about things they don't get to experience in their everyday life, right? I mean, we watch movies, we can too, but most of them We don't. A lot of people read books that are things we do not see in this everyday world or experience in this everyday world. A lot of people look at art, music, whatever, costumes. I don't know why I'm not wearing a costume, but you get what I'm saying. Like, there are so many ways to create. So whether this is something you can see or not, if you can find it of a value, you can do something with it. As long as it's not harming you or harming somebody else. If there is a value, you can do something with it. This is some Taurian energy here working with you. There's always a way. I feel like most of you, this actually can actually be landed, though, in a functionable kind of way, and you're just scared. Some of you have, aren't, and I'm just helping you in other ways where you have these other ideas. They'd be great, they're beautiful, and people are just like, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. Poetry. I mean, there are so many ways. You don't have to physically whatever to where somebody could go to a store and buy it. There's just so many ways. An empress knows this. An empress knows that confidence, what's in her head, and that she can land it. All she has to do is do it. And it doesn't matter whether you're fearful. I mean, people don't ride out in this world and be like, wow, they're so strong, they have no fear. No, they have fear. Like, courage, I don't know if this is the technical definition, but it's usually mine, is being able to move forward in spite of fear. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You learn from it, you shift, and you reset. So a lot of these ideas also that I'm finding I'm saying to you, for some reason, I feel like you guys, Taurus usually is very drawn to Tauruses because, Taurus and Pisces energy like this. I find Pisces are more drawn to Tauruses, but Tauruses are also drawn to Pisces. But I think the reason for that is because you guys and me, but especially more sun, moon, rising, whatever Taurus is, they really need or benefit from that grounding. And I don't think you need it. It's not like you'll always need that energy. You just have to learn how to harness that energy within you. And it's going to take a little bit of commitment and work and a perseverance and a courage of moving forward to learn those lessons. Because I find what I keep saying to you is very practical, grounded, earthy advice energy that I'm being guided to say to you. You just get out of your feelings about it. You know what I mean? Like, use your intuition and your feelings when you're creating, maybe even intuitively, but intuition is not your emotions. When you're creating, or maybe even when you're doing shadow work or inner child work or just body work on yourself, and also to experience life, but not when you're dealing with certain things with other people. That part of you, even if it comes up, even if you're like, there's no way I can turn that off, which it seems to me you're doing a pretty good job at it, by the way. And I don't mean good as in bravo. I mean good as in good, like you're doing it and I think you're overdoing it. Like, I think you're so in a fiery, just thought, like the energies are showing to me is it's just cycle move, cycle move, cycle move. There's really not a lot there of your emotions and feeling or even really intuition. And I think there's not you're not really you think you are, and you might a little bit, and that's fine, even if you're not yet. Maybe you have to remove yourself enough to let the energies go off to then hear it. So that's possible. But your mind is still racing to the point, and I just get this, there's just this energy just sitting in you. And it's like fire. You know what I mean? It's just action, 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 move, 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 move. But it's not going anywhere. Like you may not be giving it an outlet, and it's just like boop, 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 boop. And now it's in your head. And you have now created a negative self-talk feedback loop, whatever. You're looping. And you have now built up insecurity, fear. You've let those thoughts get a hold of you instead of just being like, you know what? I know I've got some great ideas. I know I've got the abundant energy. I know it's there. I know I can tap higher up. Your thing isn't having a problem tapping higher up. Yours is the problem of grounding yourself. And I'm going to go forward with it anyways. You do want to go a little bit, like don't go crazy with it. Cause like I said, you've got a lot of fire in air energy here. So you don't want to just like, you're built up and pent up and just, you know, and not thinking about it. So my advice to you is before I move on, because I'm literally, this always happens to me with your readings. And the first 2 cards, I like spend like an hour. You need to find a way, an outlet for that energy before you move forward on whatever this is. Because I do think you have some good ideas. I do think you just need to move forward and give yourself a new experience to learn, you know, a new repetition, a new pattern, what works, what doesn't. Okay, that's not good. Let's deviate that. Failures are just good job. We're going to just turn you a little bit so you can either go where you're wanting because you didn't see this path, or you're going somewhere better than you even wanted. Look at it like that. Don't look at it like a negative or a failure. But in order for you to not totally trample this whole thing, or even to perceive it more properly, you've got to get rid of you got to get rid of this pent up energy that's sitting in you. I mean, I can feel it right now. Do you see me? I'm bouncing in my chair. The more and more I'm tapping into it, the more and more I'm just like, I don't know. So I don't know whether it's exercise, go do kickboxing, write, do poetry, go for a walk, like talk to somebody who's grounded if you need to. Please don't overburden them. But if you have somebody there you can trust, and you know they've got their boundaries, respect their boundaries though if it becomes too much. But or do a little bit of it, do a little bit with them, and then go do your own thing or whatever, because you guys can be very overpowering in some ways on that, because you hold so much like that. It's like you're like a vast ocean of stuff within you, and you can just onto somebody without even meaning to. But especially if they're very empathic. But so do that, but even more so, like journal, write, maybe even exercise. You guys are a water a water sign. So it will help flow that energy and move that energy. You can imagine the energy, you know. Okay, so listen too. Here's a good thing. hopefully I'm going to try to do it today or tomorrow, but there's 2 videos I'm going to do where one of them will be the first time I saw energy. That one probably won't apply as much. Still watch it, it'll be interesting. But the other one I'm talking about is a grounding experience that I had. And I want to ask people if they actually want me to make a meditation out of it, which I'll have to think about. I've never made a meditation before, but it was like amazing what happened. And I think it was like a mixture of like a healing on myself and a download at the same time. And at first I was just like, wow, that's cool. You know, I just want to share what happened. And then I was like, wait a minute, like, was that a download, you know, that I can make something out of? Like, isn't that literally what people describe in meditations? Maybe I can help people visually imagine that and allow it to happen. Mine just came. I never would have even thought to see any of that. But so you may want to watch out for that, which, and the reason I'm saying that is it was in a moment where I had taken on too much energy. And I was just like, you know, and like literally when it becomes that way, I start to feel really sick and my head I have a hard time keeping my head up. And so I was just like, I just lay down. I'm not gonna get too much into it because you watched the video, but I just lay down to do Reiki on myself, and then it just went somewhere else. So that meditation, unless you could find a way to do it yourself, which you guys are very, very intuitive, and just natural at that type of stuff, watch that video because it may help you it was amazing at removing all that pent up and built up energy out of me that was just now, like, literally, instead of just being there, was starting to be like a bunch of atoms just all inside me. So look out for that. But my main point of it is, let me ground myself for a second. My main point of it is, you're going to want to get rid of this energy before you start doing this. Because then you will do things that are going to either make it a lot harder for you or hinder the process. Okay? I'm going to leave it there and move on because we need to go. It's 35 minutes in. You guys are holding me up. All right? I'm just kidding. So, in the foundation, you have the 9 of Wands. Rest and recover. Which kind of is exactly what we've been saying. So, and he looks very like bah humbug. But a lot of you probably did actually like pull back exactly like you're reading, like, and now you're just to your own and pulled back, and that energy is just cycling. But it's been a lot on you, you know, you're trying to heal, you're trying to recover, thinking about things, really thinking about things, almost to a point where you need to stop or get assistance, one or the other. In your recent past or just past, you have the 7 of Swords. So seek the truth. So you could be re-strategizing or plan to. Maybe you re-strategized and that's why you're sitting here more in your own energy now. But you may have seen a lack of truth in somebody or things around you, situations, whatever. Hopefully you may have even seen it within yourself. And either way could be, and that's why you don't trust. If you don't see a truth within yourself, it would make you not trust yourself. If you do see that truth within yourself, it would make you not trust yourself. And the reason I say that is because if you don't know, like, you don't see you're just gonna be like, oh, things always end badly and you can't trust anything because life just sucks. If you do see it's, you know, your things in it, it's only going to be because you have not healed those things and progressed to the point that you're now doing new experiences to give you a new reality and a new perception. In your crowning, you have the 4 of Wands, joy and stability. And that's probably why you're staying just like this right now. And you're kind of distrusting yourself and everyone else. Is you just want stability. You want to feel good and you want stability. And, you know, your subconscious is looking at it like, yeah, it sucks when I'm by myself, but it's safer. Like, I can't trust them and or I can't trust me right now. I'm not going to pull on that Empress like I thought. I went where I needed to. In your likely future, though, you have the 4 of Cups. Opportunity beckons. And 2 cards that kind of just popped out and they seemed like they wanted to come with it is literally 20 and 21, blossom and embrace. So it's the Judgment and the World. I believe a lot of you are getting to a point where you're now missing out on things. It's not protection anymore. It's going to start to turn to sabotage. And that's where healing comes in, is where sometimes you go from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. And then as you heal, because going to the other end of the spectrum is what allows you to heal. But as you heal after that, you then bounce in the middle. And then you know when to go more this way, and you know when to go more this way. And you just kind of like almost like the Temperance card. It's like that alchemy. You know how to shift to what you need. So I feel like a lot of you have literally gone from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum. And neither one is healthy. They are only supposed to be temporary if you ever tap into that. You're supposed to be in the middle. So it's going to become equally as unhealthy for you and sabotaging in this situation as it was in this situation if you don't find that healing and that balance in the middle. And I feel like, you know, with this, the ending of a cycle, like you seeing that and needing to be like, okay, I've got to pull out of this. If you need healing in order to be able to go over like that or help with this, let me know and hit me up for like either a reading or a session or, you know, an energy session or something like that to help you with that. I would probably more prefer, or should I say recommend, a one-on-one session or a live tarot, so that I can actually work with you on your perception. So you can, because to me, like how there's that saying, like time heals all wounds. I don't agree with that. I think actually a changing of your perception is what heals wounds. I mean, usually anytime you see healing, that's what you see. Like the person had some type of shift in perception. So, or perspective, whatever. And I think these are more like the guidance for this card that came out for the Four of Cups. Like you're just still sitting there like this. And there's literally opportunities and things you can go that come your way that the universe might even be bringing to you to help you get to this stage that you're missing. You can't just be like, you know, bah humbug or, oh, it isn't this. I know you think you're doing what's best, but I'm just here to tell you that for a lot of you, it's telling you it's almost time or about time to come out of that cycle, because then it's going to turn to sabotage. And one of the reasons you know that is because you're starting to cycle again. Exactly like the way you were when you went over to this. Which, yes, on one part is because you're not creating an outlet for this. I have hair all over me. But on the other hand, there is things that it's trying to bring in for you, to heal you, even especially your heart and your emotions. And to really see your power, like to manifest things, to blossom, to know the greatness that you are. Also, you know, you want to start to tap into these parts of you too, because a lot of Pisces, I mean, they just got amazing gifts and amazing things and a vastness of love and energy that is so powerful and so healing that if you don't know how to harness, or I don't want to say control, but have a handle on it to where it doesn't control you, it will control you. It will destroy you. A lot of I believe a lot of people that actually have like mental illness and physical illness and stuff like that, especially mental illness, I believe they actually come from very like gifted, sensitive, empathic, like powerful even, but very sensitive and gifted people that they're not aware of their gifts. They're not aware of their powers. And anybody, I mean, even looking like the comic books and stuff, like anybody who is not aware of their powers or have not learned how to work with their powers destroy them until they learn how. And honestly, in my opinion, in order to be able to do that, you've got to know your shadow. You have to. That's how you find that strength. That's how you find that stuff as an ally. So just saying, so we'll move on. How you see yourself is the Six of Wands. So maybe you're feeling like you want some attention, maybe that. But maybe you also feel like because you got away from whatever this possibly was, that you're feeling victorious about it. Let's actually pull a card on this. Believe and succeed. I don't know if you're trying to remain hopeful. Trying to head towards the right path. Just funny that you're sitting in a bunch of water though, but in a boat. You're like, I do not want to deal with my emotions right now. So you're like in a boat so that you don't have to deal with them. Can you tell me about the Six of Wands right here? I think it's kind of exactly what I said. You have the Six of Pentacles with, it says the Standing Stone, but the Justice card. And I think it's literally about a matter of even give and take or balance. You like delivered justice, or you made a decision that probably wasn't something that you even wanted to do, but you knew logically you had to do it. Whether it was a situation, a person, or whatever, that there wasn't an even give or take. Like somebody was giving more than the other. At the very least, there was something out of balance. Someone might have even been hiding something. Like, see how this guy, like, he's giving her flowers. He's giving her flowers and he's asking for something. He has his hand out. This guy has his hand out, but he's hiding what he has behind his back. And you could have either found out about that or someone else did this to you. Applied as necessary, but somebody was always taking and never giving, basically. And it just wasn't an equal exchange. And you brought down the justice on it and did something that you probably really didn't want to do, but you knew had to be done. Like I said. That's where you are right now. And that's probably why you're not wanting to sit in your emotions, because it hurts. Because you did something you didn't want to. In your environment, you have the Ace of Wands and the Magician. New vitality, manifest. So, I mean, I really take this two ways. What? Oh. My cat always, I mean, she's in other videos too, but when she's mostly around is during Pisces. Either a Pisces video or when I'm working with a Pisces. So this is either, for some it'll be this, some it won't, or some it will be both of what I'm about to say. What? So in your environment, you have somebody who is just really all about sex and they're a manipulator. So on a positive note, you have a new creative and passionate beginning where you can really manifest something that really means a lot to you. And that's why you really need to heal this with your emotions, because you don't want to be going and creating this without being able to, like, you know, come from your heart center with it. Not only for like creative ideas, but where'd you go? Come here. I know. Come here. This also if you have your heart open while you're doing it, not only will you create better, but it will heal you in the process of it. So you really don't want to be shying away from this opportunity and this project or whatever it is for you. If it's a person, you'll know what it is. Apply it as necessary. But this is a new beginning that's funny. It's going to help heal your energies. It really matches to a lot of the same, like you have cards down here that match the crown chakra colors. It's going to help heal you, your energy centers, and it'll just heal you. And it's going to be something that you're really passionate about and you really like. It's going to be a nice balance between, heart and soul and passion and thought and love and emotion, and it's going to be a nice balance for you. There's an opportunity here that is going to be good for you. It's going to be very healing and very creative and very whatever. So you don't want to miss out on that or ignore that. You're going to have to walk into this and allow it to heal you and allow this stuff to come up. And because sometimes even on a healing journey, like I can tell you this myself, when you're on your own and you're not doing certain things, you can only do so much on your own. And then after that, you just have to go and push forth. And then when you go and push forth, it forces things to come up for you to deal with, to help further remove that stuff from within you. I've even actually had that the last couple days where I've been doing certain things and now I'm even doing more things that I normally wouldn't. And I've really been working on my solar plexus because I can feel it really needs to be. It's giving me problems that I can just tell. And then as I'm working on it, there'll be little bouts of like I just want to cry for a split second, or I'll feel really sad. Like the emotion, the pent up energy and emotion starts coming up. And even if I don't know what it is, like I don't care. It's coming up. It's being moved. And if I wasn't doing some of those things, it wouldn't. Or sometimes it takes so long that it takes something traumatic and all of a sudden it's like, it's a lot worse. So either way, you can only do so much healing sometimes on your own, which may be what you've been trying to do or seeing things on your own, but you're blocking yourself off from further going and further healing and further manifesting and creating because you're pulling yourself back for a little too long or blocking yourself off for too long. It's going to start to spiral against you. How your environment sees you, 8 of Wands, success and growth. So maybe, people are seeing you as, oh, wow, that's good. They did something different they don't normally do. Maybe you are taking some type of action, or just your lack of taking, like you're pulling back was your action. You just could be going around doing a bunch of things just because the energy is pent up and built up inside of you, but you're not really focusing it in a proper way. Or they're seeing that. Let's pull some cards on it and see. Or it's what you're saying. Either that or they've just seen growth because you've been making different decisions. So, and it might be so, but that might be why this reading has guided me to say this to you, is so that, like, good job, you made a good decision, but it's almost like maybe this video is the universe's way, like you coming here to see this is the universe's way of saying, good job, Pisces, blah, 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 but, here's the stuff she's saying that's going to turn you a little bit and get you going where you need to go. So you started putting in the action, you started going, it got you out of whatever to get where you need to go now, but we need to detour you just a little bit, because if you keep going this way, you're going to go into a dead end type thing. I feel like that's it. I feel like I don't even have to pull clarifiers, but it's 8 of Wands. It's 8 of Wands. Yeah, you have the Seven of Wands. Like she's just at home doing her own thing in the own comfort. Gathering stuff up. Like you're now more stable and secure. But the thing is, I feel like this level of stability and security, although it may be better than the situation you were in, is still not built on a strong foundation. And this is what it's trying to teach you, is trying to heal those energies out of you in order to actually have a firm foundation, because a firm foundation can handle the flows. You're in a way, there's a rigidity here. Like it's good, don't get me wrong. It's like you did, I think, what you were supposed to do. But you have to be able to go like this. It's almost like an infinity symbol, but to flow and go back and forth and have the confidence and the flow to do that. You know what I mean? You may also want to look up like gentle stream sounds on YouTube or something like that, or even the ocean, you know, and listen to that and the movement, or go to the ocean. But anyways, like I said, you don't want to go from one end of the spectrum and just stay at the other. Like you got to balance and flow as you need to and come back somewhere in the middle, and then you kind of move and adjust, like the Temperance card. You don't want to become rigid. All right. So what's in your hopes is you have the Nine of Cups, dreams coming true. And the Three of Wands, take the lead. So, you know, I think you're waiting on this, like the typical Three of Wands, but you're wanting to go forth and use all this energy. Like this is all the energy that's in you, just balled up, going crazy. And you want to take that energy and go and make your dreams come true and manifest them. Your fears. You have the Nine of Swords, darkest fears. Seven of Wands, choose your battles. Crown Chakra, Heart Chakra, Three of Swords, sadness and isolation. So you obviously don't want to be fearful or have the anxiety of it. I think you're tired of the cycles too. You're scared of facing yourself. Like it may even come to a point for you now that it's not even about facing somebody else anymore or protecting yourself from somebody else anymore. Now it's gone to the point, because of what you realized from pulling yourself back, is that it's actually, watch my Taurus reading, that it's actually you're battling against, and you're tired of the cycles, and you're really, so the fear though, you could be really wanting help to heal from the sadness and the isolation. Like you want to be lifted out of it. What is the crown chakra? Is that what it is? Like wanting help? Oh. Even though, if I were to ask you, right, do you want to heal and feel better? You would say, yes, of course, I do. But the thing you're going to have to also realize, and this isn't just one thing, you know, about yourself and your shadow, you're going to have to realize it's one of the things, like how there's three, there's like maybe more or less, but there's different parts of yourself. One of them that you're going to have to look at of the self-sabotage is, it actually doesn't, because this is your fear, right? So the seven of the crown chakra could be, you know, divine guidance coming in to help you and like maybe even heal your heart. A part of you does not want this, which is possibly part of your sabotaging behavior or your negative talk, because you feel like that opens you up to a level of vulnerability and pain. Maybe you even have resentment, but I get more, you don't want to be opened up to the vulnerability and the pain of it. One thing I found from doing almost on every Pisces, and I've never had to do this for anybody else, almost on every Pisces that I do energetic work on, especially in person, when I'm doing like the shamanism, Reiki too, but mostly the shamanism, because when they're laying there, they know that I'm seeing into them, right? I mean, they're trusting me. They're wanting that. Like, a part of them is wanting that. But there is like this shield that they have up around them that I can see a little bit into, but I see the shield. Like, I know it's there. And they don't know it's there. I don't think they do. Maybe one of them did. But most of them do not know it's there because they don't know themselves up. They don't know themselves enough yet. They're not aware of energy or their own energy, which sucks. No Pisces should ever not be aware of energy because they're like the biggest sponge for it, but they're not aware of it. So I literally have to go in and do like a technique and ask them to do something in order to get them to disable their shield. And then I can see it. But they have to do it. They don't know it's there. They have to do it. So you guys are highly guarded. Because you don't want to be hurt. Maybe some of you do have resentment. I have seen some Pisces that they're very resentful people. But you know, they're hurt. So either way, no matter what, whatever end you're on this, but one of the things you're going to want to look at that is a fear here is that there's a part of you that does not want to heal, that does not want to get better, and that does not want to feel happy. Because at least if you're that way, you don't get your hopes up, you don't rise, and then you're not disappointed, hurt, and you've fallen. And there was something you could have done to prevent it, or it was because of you and you weren't good enough. The rise and the fall always trigger your insecurities. This makes me want to cry. Here's the thing about that. When people do this, right? This is why Pisces, this is one of the reasons why Pisces have a high tendency towards addiction or addictive tendencies or behaviors, is because you try to stop this on an intellectual level or on a relation level or a good for me level. You stop things from being good for you. But you tend to act it out in other ways. Meaning, you tend to project or try to live out these same rise and falls that you're trying to avoid because you feel like they hurt you or they trigger your insecurities or the parts of you don't like to think, feel, or see. You project that and live it out actually through other things, such as, say if somebody, I'm sorry if this is crooked, I don't know if it is. Say if somebody actually has an addiction. When somebody has an addiction, there are rise and falls to that. So they may be like keeping people at bay or situations at bay or good things at bay, thinking they're protecting themselves, yet they're actually partaking in something that is giving them the same highs, that is actually hurting them more. It's just a longer, slower, more miserable death than this one that just knowing you're strong enough to ride it through will build up your armor and your experience. And I don't mean armor like you're blocking yourself off. I mean that give and take thing. You know when to open up. You know when to close off. You know when it's safe for you to open your heart. You know when you need to close your heart. You learn that elasticity in your energy, that I know when to expand, and I know most Pisces are just, it's just there for the most part. They have trouble expanding and contracting that energy, or at least knowing that they're doing it and knowing that they're stable enough, strong enough, and secure enough within themselves to do it, and learning to deal with and face and love and accept and embrace their emotions enough during those times to ride that wave. You're gonna have the waves regardless. You can either choose them to hurt you, or you can choose to have them benefit you. Now, somebody who has been through this themselves, I will tell you, when you choose to let these situations benefit you, this even goes for people, in my opinion, and it may not be everybody, but a lot of people who have bipolar. You create a better balance and synastry and integration, to where they're not, like, this is a very disintegrated energy, disassociated, to where it plays out in other things. Also very codependent, narcissistic. You can heal that and blend those energies to where you could ride those waves emotionally when you learn to sit in them and not judge them and just see them or act on them for a minute, and to communicate with your body, listen to your body, work with it, develop that relationship within yourself, to yourself, with yourself. Also, if you have things that give you an extreme high, like you are on top of the world, you might want to limit those, and maybe that's what you're doing right now, and that's why you're going through this. But you can't just stay away from it. You got to work and grow. It's not just I removed myself and it all gets better. No, there's work to this, and it's for the rest of your life. However, this type of work gets better and better. The other type of work you're currently doing or were doing, you go down. It's up to you. You consciously choose. I'm giving you this opportunity to consciously choose right now. That's my gift to you. But removing those highs, the benefit to that, so don't get in a poor me mentality about that. The benefit to removing those highs, and I get it, it's like ecstasy, okay? The benefit to removing that is you also don't have the really low lows. Now, the in-between phase, while you're adapting, learning, figuring things out, yes, it sucks sometimes. It gets boring. The energy builds up, blah, blah, blah. That is why you need to be learning, studying, doing self-work. Every Pisces should know Reiki. I do teach Reiki, and we'll be starting in January, February. I'm not saying this so you come be with me. I'm saying it to you to let you know I'm a resource. But find whoever is around you and go learn at least Reiki 1 and 2. Most people offer them as one class. There's no Pisces. Nobody who's evolving, but no Pisces should not know Reiki. It gives you a better level of discernment. It helps you calm these energies within yourself when they build up. All that, all of it. It helps you, and you can help other people too. So if you're interested, let me know on that. Email me. But if not, find somebody around you, or a lot of people. Like, I traveled to go see mine. Because for something like that, in my opinion, I mean, people do it multiple times with different instructors too, just because they either want to refresh themselves or they feel like they can get things from different people. But you always want to go with somebody that you resonate with. Like you're resonating with them. Okay? Just so you know that. So find somebody you resonate with. But it would be very beneficial to you. But either way, this is a huge cycle for you that is probably in your subconscious or your shadow work that you're avoiding right now. But you are or were living it out in other ways. And you may be in the in-between part of that right now, which is in the pit of my stomach right now. So yeah. You're in the really crappy part of it. So you've got to get doing stuff though, Pisces. You can't just sit and sulk or, heal if you need to, but what I found is that energy started turning on me when I sat in it too long, and I had to start, getting out, learning, getting around like-minded people, building my soul tribe, learning techniques, like just putting myself out there, working with people. I just started building up my soul tribe, and that works in different ways, but my soul tribe built it first by the people who helped me. And then I started working with them more, and then it just became the community of the people all around that. To where now even I can do a lot of stuff myself. Also, a lot of it was self-learn. I always do enough that I can myself, and when I can't, then, I go outward. But when I can't do something, I've got this tribe that can help me. And that gives me confidence too. Like, not only has my confidence gotten better, it's 111, 11110, which I see a lot, 111 and 1110 I see all the time, and 1111. Right when I'm saying that. My confidence has built up because not only have I went through a lot of those things that I would have been like, no, I don't want to go through that. Dark things even, like entities I've had to experience. But it was to teach me things and abilities that I had and how to discern my energy and what was mine. More than even what Reiki can show me. Not only the light teaches you, let me rephrase that. Light is a judgment a lot of times. So something may actually be of light or something that's not bad, but because we don't like it or it's scary or it feels gross, we will perceive it as darkness. But that's our perception, just saying. There are some things that are actually more like that, but no. Like when you say things of not everything is love and light, or not everything feels of love and light. But that's where a lot of my confidence came from, was me going through those situations, learning my stuff, learning my own gifts, working on things, practicing, playing, like my own creative playtime. Also working with my soul tribe and knowing that if I can't do it or something is whatever, like it's like, oh crap, what happened? And I can't handle this myself. I have a soul tribe that I know can help me, of all spiritual, energetic, working people. And if not, my guides are amazing, and I'm great at listening to them, and I know they'll guide me. They'll guide me to where I need to go. Because I've built my relationship with them. I've built my relationship with myself. So I think I'm going to go off of this. That was a huge thing for your fears, but you probably needed to hear that. So in your likely future, you have the Eight of Swords. Helplessness and hopeless. So in your likely future, you have the Four of Cups, which this is a better picture of representing that energy. And you're trapped. There may be other things too, but if you don't heed my advice, on this, I don't even need to pull a card on it because I know I just channeled everything I needed to say on it. If you don't do what I just said, all of that, rewatch the video if you need to, or something remotely similar to that you're being guided to but is in your path or your whatever, if you don't break through whatever it is you're needing to break through, whether it's taking action on a project, whether it's your healing journey, whether it's learning about yourself, tapping into yourself, working with yourself, building a relationship with yourself, or your guides, your higher self, your soul family. And don't be like, how do you build your soul? Listen, when you're ready, it happens. Because I was like the same way at first. I was like, how the hell do you build your soul family? Like, I don't know anybody. I don't whatever. I didn't even see anybody when I looked. And then all of a sudden, when it was like I broke through that thing, it was like, I don't care, and I did what I needed to do at that time. All of a sudden they were there. They were everywhere. And it's just like boom, boom, boom. You couldn't keep them away. They're popping up. I'm not saying that'll exactly happen for you, but it's like that saying of when you're ready, the teacher comes or something. The teacher presents themselves, whatever. It's the same way. It happened exactly the same way with me, with like the soul tribe. Okay. So let's go to some of your oracle cards. And then we'll be done. I may pull you a couple guidance cards too, if I remember. I'm not sure. So you have love. I'm not going to read these because I think these in itself are showing something. Here's love, which has a huge hole in it in the shape of a heart too. Summon. And strength reversed, which I don't have any of these reversed. This for somehow was just reversed. So there is something or someone that you're really loving, wanting to do, bring in, blah, blah, blah. And you do not see, feel, or know how to have the strength to do it. One of the ways also is, I don't think you should focus totally on this part now, but just remember that you want to come out of your own ego and your own self. A lot of times it's not always about you. And yes, it should be in your healing part, but maybe balance back and forth between doing things that help other people or even your creative project or whatever, and then self-work. And then going, like you literally want to go back and forth. When you need that intense time, which it seems like you might have been in, then take that. But when you find you're stagnated and you're no longer able to figure things out and the energy is looping, that's when you need to shift off and go do something else. You'll know. If you start to trust this energy, you'll know when to go back into yourself and reflect. And when the energy starts to stagnate, you go here. And then when you're like, oh, you'll just start to trust that energy. But you have to do both to learn it. And you're trying not to or something. Service. I feel good when I can help others. Failure, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Happiness, I am aware that being happy means I am on the right path. That is so true, by the way. Especially if you have a spiritual mission or path you're supposed to be on. You will not feel right. You will not feel happy. And you'll probably feel sick if you're not doing it. Death, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. And grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. Also, people sometimes are scared of change too because they feel like it's a loss. But anyways, when I look at these colors, I just like when I looked down, I was like, wow, it just reminded me of like the chakra colors. And it was like the red, the orange, the yellow, the green. And like your crown chakra color. The only one you're missing is the throat and your third eye. Which is funny because the colors that would be the throat and the third eye are the majority of the colors of cards that you have. The indigo, purplish, well, indigo like, and the blue. And that doesn't mean you're balanced in those. To me, it means you're like overworking in those to compensate for these being unbalanced. Meaning your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus, your heart, and your crown. You're not allowing yourself to receive to your crown, which is why in your fears you have crown chakra and heart chakra. Because part of you, that shield I was talking about, is blocking that off and you're not even aware of it because it's trying to protect you. Have compassion for it. It's trying to protect you. It doesn't know any better. It's like a child. But the two that are missing here are literally the majority of the two colors in your cards. And I think it's because you're actually overworking those. You're trying too hard to use your intuition and you're trying too hard to express yourself because you felt like those were the areas that you needed to work in the most and you're using them to compensate for your imbalances in these other. All your chakras need balancing. But you're trying to use those two because they feel like you're safest. And in order to compensate for all of these. Now, I will say, when your third eye is unbalanced, you're going to have this level of distrust and fear. You're actually not using your intuition properly, because you wouldn't have to try to use it if you were. Also, if your crown chakra were open, you would be able to receive that and know that that would be able to come down into your third eye, and you wouldn't be in this energy. Just saying. May want to work on that. If you need help with your chakras, let me know. You can also do it yourself, but email me or message me or whatever if you need help. Also, if you're doing it on your own, like, I mean, I can trust my guides as to how many to do at a time, but if you don't know in that moment, you don't want to like overly work on your chakras at the same time. You want to kind of do stuff to clear the energy and then just start taking actions to keep them flowing, because you can clear out a chakra and it just goes right back to the way it was because you're not doing the actions to keep them clear. And so you just start working and it'll kind of like, you know, slow up, get more like you'll just constantly do the work for a minute as you're adjusting and changing your mind frame and changing your life and changing your perception and stuff. It happens. It's not gonna be all at once. So don't get like disgruntled or anything if it doesn't just happen all at once, or it's cleaned and it doesn't stay clean, because you're having to shift to then get in alignment with the actions that keep your chakras clean and flowing. But you also don't want to do too much at once. You know, you want to like it's your whole a large part of your energy system. Also, sometimes if you do one chakra, it actually starts to move and work through stuff in another chakra. They kind of all build on each other. So just be aware of that. Also, by taking actions you don't normally take, it'll break through any of the barriers or blockages that you weren't aware, and all of that. Just letting you know. All right, so I wanted one shaman card. I said I was going to pull one from the if a bolt came out, just pull the top one. But they were all meant for you, so I'm going to try to quickly read them all. So you have the Holy Mountain. I'm trying to see which part is helpful to read. The Holy Mountain invites you to go on a sacred pilgrimage to acquire vision and perspective. First, you must accept the present situation as an opportunity to discover higher understanding. Find a sacred altar where others who came before you have prayed and found wisdom, and make your offering there. Make a commitment to walk with courage, love, and compassion until you see with clarity the perfection of all. When the Holy Mountain shows up, it's time to be active. Do not let your doubts deter you and keep you bound. This is a time to leap over challenges and to remember that from the top of the mountain, there are no obstacles, only beauty and unobstructed view of the entire earth. And there's no need to go shopping for the right hiking boots or camping equipment to climb the Holy Mountain. You already have all the gear you need. Overcome any lethargy, indolence, and laziness, as these are the real obstacles. That's very true for any Taurus or Pisces. 30. The light or lightning. The forces of the upper world, which are trying to come in and help you to your crown, you're blocking them off, are investing their gathered energies to ignite you with the new inspiration and creativity, which is why you have this Ace of Wands and Magician in your environment. Allow this divine gift of awakening to take root in your being and enjoy a renewed sense of clarity, passion, and vision. Life has gifted you with a destiny that is in alignment with your passion and in harmony with all existence on earth. Now lightning has come to jolt you into accepting your destiny. Let this initiation release what is in the way of fulfilling your purpose. Otherwise, you'll be bound to your karmic fate. This is a time to be courageous and daring. That's why I say, too, like, you really have to watch your perspective about things, because something could come in and you could be sitting there like bah humbug and sad about it, and it's just because of your perspective, and now you've just shut down all your other centers that you need in order to take it, when literally it could have just been a rite of passage for you. So just remember that it's about your perspective and aligning your will to your higher self's will. If you're just in your ego about it and you're just like, I lost. I mean, I know it sucks. Sometimes you're like, no, I want this. No, I want this. Like, just try it out. Trust and connect above. I haven't really met a lot of people that they like the universe, spirit, whatever, God, like, that they didn't know better. That it was actually like, I mean, you're already trapped. You've already been trapped. Like, what are you letting go of that you're like, no, I want to hold on to this? You're already trapped. Like, why not try another path? One that frees you. Now I know why this is here. Okay, that's awesome. One that frees you. And trust in your higher self and in spirit and God, universe, whatever. That they might actually know more of what you want than you do. Because your ego thinks it wants one thing, but your soul wants another. And your soul, especially when you start to awaken, is what drives your happiness. Trust me. If you resist it, it gets dark and it sucks. And you start to hurt. You have pain in your body. All right, 47. The smoky mirror. I'm gonna avoid the glare. Sorry, I don't know how to avoid the glare. When the symbol of the smoky mirror appears, well, it represents aspects of what is implied yet cannot be immediately known in the world. The mystery of how things come together and how they fall apart without obvious casualty. This symbol also represents the shadow of the human psyche. The parts of the self that one disowns. The smoky mirror can also represent a state of denial or the inability or refusal to see the truth. When the symbol of the smoky mirror appears, you're invited to see beyond your own self. Imagine that, past the limits of your current ability to perceive, there is a vast interconnected world where events are orchestrated in divine order, but challenging to fully grasp. Exactly what I was just saying. Now is the time to trust that no matter what the current situations of your world reflect, in the hidden realms, all aspects of the human journey are celebrated. The beauty and the darkness, the mystery, the misery and the courage. No matter where you are on your journey, know that some things are meant to be a mystery, which you are meant to understand only through experience. Take heart, for the smoky mirror will ultimately show you beauty and wonder once the fog lifts the distortion you see now. Understanding the shadow of the human journey requires that you go deep into your story to discover the wound that prevents you from seeing the truth of your current situation. Your fears and expectations of disappointment and unworthiness may be clouding your capacity to see the potential in yourself and others. The smoky mirror may be showing you things that you don't want as a result of your conditioning. These can become even more real, but only because you are making it so. The choice is yours. The world will hold you accountable for what you see and create. Can you see through the eyes of truth and faith instead? Exactly. It's exactly what I was just saying. And I didn't even read all that. Like, it's amazing how this stuff works. All right. So let me do this since I just said it. So on the bottom of the deck, you have one animal. The actual animal that did want to come up for you as an animal guide card is Horse Freedom. Which, I was like, I can make it work somehow. I'll just read it. But now I see why this was here. And it says, your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. If you were able to use this energy more correctly, not just this, but all of this mental and fiery energy, and if you could initiate the emotional energy, I'm gonna think of it. You don't have any pentacle cards. Well, on the bottom of the deck you do. This is your only pentacle card, the energy on the bottom. But I get the vibe thinking of that and looking at this, that if you could follow this and especially start opening your shield to receive through your crown chakra and balance your chakras, release on your third eye a little, like it will come when it needs to, and start creating expression wise. But when you can start to create expression wise and also from your heart and heal, I feel like those energies will start this grounding energy. But you have all the energies for like the stamina, especially the emotions. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're seeing your emotions a lot of times and your empathic nature as a weakness. And it's not. It's just like I was saying earlier, because you run from it and don't learn how to build a relationship with it, and you don't look into your shadow, it controls and destroys you. If you need help with this, let me know. Again, I'm not saying any of this for this, but if you do, I am a resource. So let me know. But there are plenty of resources out there. It's just up to you and your motivation and all of that stuff. So it's trying to give you the freedom to pick a different path, and one that if you trust and you go with it and you go on that healing journey, it will give you everything you wanted and everything you didn't even know you wanted. I'm speaking from experience on this. I'm still struggling. I still work at it every day. But because I work, it's actually improving and getting and better. And there are parts of me that I didn't even know were in me. Good, bad, whatever. And I don't want to place judgment on it. It's just perspective. They're all my allies. But there's a freedom being offered to you. And if you want out of this prison that you're in, then I recommend you step into it. Which means you have to have the courage and the faith to step into yourself. And your physical body too. You may not even be fully dropped into your physical body, like your higher self and energetically, because you feel it's painful. That's why a lot of times people, when they're dissociated like this and disintegrated. So on the bottom you have Wolf, Pathfinder. Release your past and start a new journey. You are a teacher and help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. I'm not going to read one of those. Let's pull one of these and just see what comes up. I will pull a couple cards, though, of advice. And then I'm going to be done. This is long enough. And I feel like this at this point too, like, honestly, I probably could have just wiped out like 20 minutes of this. But on one hand, I'm like, did I really need to pull all that? Because it just reiterates what I just said in my reading. Like, I don't even know at this point if I need to pull oracles anymore, because it's like I say it. Or maybe just because I pull the oracles, I can feel the energy of it, and that's why I say it. I don't really know. But some people probably like it too, because it kind of confirms what I said. I don't know. Plus, it's kind of nice for me because it confirms what I said. I'm sure you get what I'm saying. All right, so give me one card that would be a good advice for Pisces. That's funny. You keep getting things about perseverance. So, mysticism. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. So I will read it, but mysticism is like, it's all about, you know, really the way of the universe and how, like, you can't know everything. You can't know the way of it because that's part of the unfolding and part of the lesson and part of the growth of it. And then you have perseverance. So you need to persevere through this, okay? Like, even though you feel maybe like you're a failure or you're not where you need to be or whatever, in a lot of ways, you're exactly where you need to be. And for a lot of people who are watching this, you were guided to this and I was guided to you to be that little step in your stone to be like, good job, now turn here and go. Okay? That's the way I feel. But you use your own intuition at all times. This is just giving you little ideas to go in your own free time about, ponder about, and then you go do what you're going to do based on the little whatever, okay? So mysticism, a woman named Aubergine. You are not to know. A woman named Aubergine calls on the telephone to confirm that she will be with us tonight, yet no woman named Aubergine has ever been invited. Of the 4 invited, 2 are wed and 2 are unknown to each other, a woman and a man. Surely if this mysterious woman were the guest of the man, she would have made it known. A woman approaches, the woman named Aubergine, the woman who will be with us tonight. Is it wise to be the observer? Do not respond until you are certain. The unknown is not easy, but it is no longer necessary to fear. That's the main one you need to pay attention to. Am I ignoring my intuition? What I suspect is probably true. I must breathe. If you're suspecting that you need to get going and doing stuff and connecting with yourself, that's true. If you're suspecting you need to stay like this to protect yourself, that's not. Ignoring signs, unknown motivation, intuitive knowing, fear of the unknown, journey. Intuition, courage, uncharted. So there's a meditation. I'll read it to you in case it helps you guys. See yourself in a crystal clear pool. As you wade in the water, a whirlpool swirls towards you and catches you. Aubergine is afraid you would leave if you weren't captive. Assure her that you will stay if she sets you free. She doesn't believe you. You have met your own fear. Okay, so I'm glad I read this. Open your eyes. What is real? What is imagined? What is no longer necessary? And that's exactly what I'm saying by what your fear is doing. Because it feels like, for one, it will be transformed, kind of like an ego death, and it never likes that, although it's not really, I mean, death is change, so it just changes. But it's trying to protect you, but it's your fear. It tries to keep you captive. Or you might leave or change or whatever, or get hurt. You get what I'm saying. So perseverance, we'll read that real quick. Where is it? So this is your third eye chakra and your solar plexus. I'm sorry, your sacral and your third eye. Don't quit before the miracle. Shannon's carrot-colored cloak is from a famous stage actress, and she wears it always as a symbol of her own talent. One day, frustrated by the sacrifices she has made in her long pursuit of success, Sharon throws off the cloak and gives up her acting career. The great goddess tries to convince Shannon to put the cloak back on and stay the course, but she doesn't listen. Just around the corner, had she persevered, was great success. Inspiration. When we do our chosen work, we are serving the highest order. If we stop, we upset the universal balance. What you work toward will materialize. You may not see it, but it lies ahead. Personal inquiry. Can I ignore the feelings that would sidetrack me? Will I let go of fear and persevere? Key ideas. Breaking through, overcoming doubts. Keywords. Steadfast, success, miracles. Meditation. Imagine yourself walking along a path wrapped in a cloak. You reach a glass wall. Through the glass, you can see your goals. Step forward and pass through the wall. Your cloak falls to the ground. Staying with your past. Let it go. You do not need it anymore. All right. So I'm going to pull a couple cards of advice, and that is it. No, I'll use this advice. I had 3, 4 cards of advice. Alignment, 3 or 4 cards of advice, please. Appreciate where you are right now and see the beauty in all things again. Like, stop just being in your mind and just looking at just that or what you don't have or this or this. Like, find the beauty in the world again, like a Pisces normally does. Basically, be confident enough to embrace your energy again. It's not your energy that's wrong. Your energy is needed, and it's very much a gift. You just have to learn how to work with it and utilize it so it's to your advantage and to others, okay? So find the beauty in the world. Learn the lesson of it. Like, when you're a child, you have the heart and, spirit of a child, and then stuff happens in life and it discourages you, or you see the reality of the world and that sometimes not pleasant things happen, and then you get a tainted, view of things. You become a humbug, and then you go through a healing journey and it heals you, and then you get back the heart and soul of a child, but you have a better level of discernment for how the world works and how to ride those waves. You get back your innocence, basically, as a child. But just see the beauty in the world again. Don't, open up your energy. It's about discernment and learning yourself. I think you'll be stable either way. But open up, share with others. Allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to be loved. Love yourself, love others. Just go back to your old energy and find that balance between emotions and pulling back your emotions in order to be able to, and your ego, in order to be able to discern something logically. You can't, I get it. You went from all emotions to all logic, but it's time now to heal and bounce back to the middle so that you don't turn into, honestly, that person that you would never want to be. Just saying. You're taken away from everything that makes you what could help this world right. And everything that you look around in this world that saddens you and sickens you and discourages you, and you're like, why is the world this way? Why does it have to be this way? Because most of them are just in their mind. They're disassociated and they're disconnected and they're acting. They're taking action and mental thinking, and they're not within. You're literally heading towards that which most Pisces despise. Or, I don't want to say despise because that's a harsh energy, but that it saddens them that the world has that in it. You get what I'm saying? So you've got to find this balance between emotions, balance and harmony, the flows, embracing the changes, embracing the lows, embracing the highs, but not in the obsessive way that you were. And that's one reason why you'll be able to build gratitude for all of this, is when you learn to cut out the things that give you the extreme highs, then have the extreme lows. Because when you do have that, that sucks. It's way out of balance. You'll start to get more balance, and instead of being you'll ride the wave. It'll be more manageable. You're learning how to manage your abilities. And you will end up, here's the King of Cups. You'll end up balanced, abundant, emotional, happy. But you got to watch your perspective and see the beauty in the world again and start sharing, receiving and giving again. And then you keep the level of discernment, you know, and if you mess up, it's okay. You fix again, you learn. But when it comes to that moment, you have to make a decision. Just make a practice to pull your emotions out of it and pull your ego out of it. Use your emotions when they benefit you. Pull them back. And you're going to have to learn a level of, honestly, of self-discipline here. And self-responsibility. That's the biggest thing I'm having to learn right now is self-discipline. You have to be stronger than your stuff. And then they become an ally. Your consciousness and your higher level of awareness has to be stronger than your mind and of your pain body, your physical body. It will rule you. You may want to look into fasting. There's many types to fast. Dietary, electronics, people, whatever. It helps a lot with spiritual discipline. So I love you. I'll be seeing you guys. I hope this really helps you. Hit me up, email me or whatever if you need help or whatever. If not, there's plenty of resources for you to do it, either on your own or with someone else. So I love you guys. Again, I really hope this helps you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. Donations to give and receive energy, services, email, PayPal, all that description box below. I love you guys. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.